Welcome back to the channel. If you're new, this is a 54 Chevy pickup 3100 on a 2006 Envoy chassis. In this video, we're going to tackle some metal work on the cab. We're going to rework this front cowl section, get rid of all the ugly, start making it look nice again. Alright guys, this is going to start of video 8. Like I said at the end of video 7, I don't want to touch too much more on the running boards and the fenders and whatnot until I have my air suspension, and then that will finalize everything. So I'm kind of at a standstill for big body parts right now. So I'm going to move on. I'm tired of looking at this. So I'm going to attempt to repair this all in one piece, get rid of this seam, make it flush. I do have a small English wheel that is still in the box. I've never used an English wheel before. I'm thinking that should give me the curvature I need for it. So let's just get after it. Let's give it an attempt. So I got this English wheel set up, and it was labeled as a small English wheel. I don't know, I was expecting the picture to look bigger, but it's pretty small. I don't know if it'll be the tool for the job. Like I said, I've never even used an English wheel, so I don't even know if this is the tool for the job. I did get my piece cut out, kind of got it marked out. I'm leaving it big, and then I should be able to trim it after I get some shape in it. Got my area marked out where I want the shape, so I'm gonna start slowly going. I mean, this is first attempt. Worst case is it's a piece of sheet metal. I'm okay if I have to redo it, not a big deal. So let's give it some attention and we'll see what happens here. Oops. That actually worked out pretty well. I got some good shape in it. Took my contour gauge and it's pretty close. I'm gonna trim it up and see how it fits on the truck, and then we'll probably have to add a little bit more shape to it, but I got it trimmed up. It actually fits half decent. I think I put the shape in a little bit too low, so I'm gonna just try to undo that a bit. And then I'll start working it more up here to get this to curve down more. But I don't know, first attempt, being 5 minutes into the job, so far so good. So I've been Englishing around for another 20 minutes or so. I got this thing pretty damn close. Like, what a great tool. I should have bought one years ago. Let's see if you can see from this side. I'm not gonna be able to, not using the ends of it realistically. I'm gonna cut it smaller so I don't want to have to do as big of a patch. But been pretty good so far. I think I'm gonna trim it, make it fit better, and then mark it out and cut it out of the truck. Oh, I've been having fun with that English wheel. I like it a lot. Look at that. Fits good on that side. Fits pretty good on this side. Now I'm going to trim this up a little bit because I got a little bit of overhang on each side. And then I'll scribe it and I'll cut it out on the truck and we'll tack it in. Man, it looks good. So I got my piece trimmed up. I'm going to leave a little bit on each side just so I have something to weld to without going into the jams. Got a couple self-tappers just holding in there. I got it traced out. I'm going to scribe it as well, and then I'm going to cut inside of the line and then grind to it. Once I get this scribed, once the paint dries a little bit, I'm going to spray the patch panel on the inside with some weld-proof primer, and we're going to start tacking her in place. The fit is pretty good. I am super pumped on that. Got the patch in there, just letting it cool a bit more before I start grinding it down. Fits really nice. Took my time, hit it with air between every tack. I don't see any warpage as of now. Really happy with it so far. So I'm gonna call that good for now. I got a little low down here that once the dash is out, I'll be able to hammer and dolly, and I guess a little low there. But she came out nice. It's nice and smooth. Much better than those, whatever you want to call them, welds that were there. Super happy with how that came out. I'll be able to fill in here more once the door is off, and once the hood's off, I'll be able to fill in here more. And plus there's more to do where the hood hinges. But for now, super pleased with that. It's probably spent way too much time. This thing I got, I don't even know, 4 or 5 hours into, but it's worth it. Take your time, it looks nice. So I took out the dash and everything inside just so I could get behind this cowl piece. Did a little bit more hammer dolly work, a little bit more grinding. Came out really nice. Pretty smooth, really happy with it. I'm gonna call this side a wrap. I'm gonna start on the other side now. It's basically the same idea. So I thought this side would be easier, just had to do this section. Now I'm realizing this is full of lead. I guess it is an old truck, old school repair. I'm back down to steel down here, so I'm gonna have to make my patch. I'm just gonna cut it all out. I don't really know how to handle lead other than just melting it out, and I don't wanna do that. And I know it's pretty toxic, so I'm just gonna cut it all around, but first I'll build my patch, form it over this guy. But yeah, that sucks, bigger job. And I gotta get rid of this vent as well, because it's not useful to me. This is where the blower motor in the 50s would suck your fresh air into. Now it's just gonna give me air into essentially nowhere. So I'm gonna have to cut that out and do another repair there. So this side turned into a lot bigger of a job. Got this side fitting pretty decently. Pretty quick again on the English wheel. Pretty happy with it. Could use a little bit more, but I'm gonna trim it up a little bit. Get the lead and everything cut out of there, and start welding her in. Alright, another side done. Got it all metal finished out. Ran into a little bit of lead around here. I thought I grinded it all out, but I just ended up burning it out with the welder. Have a mask on and everything. Got I would say no warpage again. Nice and smooth. Gotta do a little bit more work in the gaps, but damn, that's nice. Alright, I got this piece kind of cleaned up around it. No more lead. Got a piece cut out. The inside line is going to be the size of the vent. I always make them bigger, especially with the English wheel. It's a lot easier to get to the edge of the English wheel than actually fighting the edge. So I make them bigger, trim them back. So it's the same process over and over again. Let's just hit the English wheel again. Got this guy tacked in. It's going fairly well. It's nice that I have access to the back on this one, so I was able to push to it. I put a little shape in it before, and then I just kind of pushed it to the original edge to make sure it was in the correct shape. And it's laying pretty flat right now, so I'm going to go ahead and weld it all. Hopefully don't warp anything, but I'll give you a check-in afterwards. So I got this patch done. Got a little bit of distortion in here, and I just can't get to it from the backside to hammer it out. It's very minor. It'll be a small amount of filler. I'm totally okay with that. Came out really nice. Sucks I couldn't keep that vent. You know, I really wanted to keep everything original, but it's just gonna allow dust to get in the cab, so no point in keeping it. Shaved it all off. I got a couple waves through here. I don't know if you could tell on camera, but a couple lows I want to hammer out, and then I also have to shave this because I can't use that because of the dash as well. So that might be a tomorrow problem, but we'll shave that and hammer these out a bit. Cab's coming along nicely. Alright, we're back to do this cowl piece. I'd really love to keep this flip out vent, but fortunately with the dash I just don't have the room for it on the underside of it. Instead of making a patch, I'm just going to use this. I just got to cut out the vent and whatnot. It fits nice, it's got the right contour to it, so I'm going to butt it up against the front and weld it. And then on the sides, I think I'm just going to place some tacks on each side to fill that gap in. And I might do the same in the back, or I might just put some band steel to fill that gap in, make it a lot tighter. So we'll get this all cleaned up, get that vent side off, and we'll start on this project. Okay, I got everything prepped. I got the vent off, the back side's all ground down. Primer on the inside drip rail and on the back side of the piece. I'm just gonna kind of go for it, gonna line it up, start in the front, tack it around. We're gonna have to use some filler in the back. The sides should be okay as it is. Let's just start tacking and see what happens. Okay, we got the cowl welded in. Tried to film it, but the camera fell over while I was on the roof there. That's okay. Basically the same stuff, same process as the corners. The cowl didn't go as well. If I was to do it again, I would have made my own patch and made it fit better. The vent that was there, I butted it towards the front, so it was okay in the front, but the back had a pretty big gap. I had to use some filler rod, so I had to weld on both sides of the rod. Created some heat, got a little messy at one point. I think I got it pretty straight with the hammer and dollies. I'm pretty happy with it. I mean, it could definitely be better, but I mean, next time if I was do it over again, I'd make my own panel. But that's okay, live and learn, right? I'm gonna wrap up the video here. I got still lots more patch panels to do and everything, but I'm honestly just over welding sheet metal. It's time consuming, it sucks. You start rushing it. That's when you get the warpage and all the problems. So we don't want that. Hit me up in the comments if you have any tips for welding sheet metal or anything, right? I've been trying to keep them cool with the air and hammer dolly, the tacks, keep them flat. I feel like I've been doing a pretty good job of it. Next video I really hope will be air suspension. It's on its way. Should hopefully be here within the next week or two. It'd be nice to get this thing on the ground. Sort out my front end issues of how tight these tires are. These are actually different tires than I had on last time. These are off an Equinox. They're a little bit smaller. I was hoping they'd even be more smaller than the original Envoy tires, but that's okay. They're just from the scrap pile. I wouldn't pay anything for them or anything like that. Just trying to figure out what kind of size I need. But once we get that air suspension in, get this thing on the ground, we'll really run into what else needs to be done as far as issues and whatnot. So anyways, that's gonna wrap it up for the video. Cowl looks pretty nice. Hit me up in the comments, any tips, like, subscribe, all that good stuff. Thanks guys.